Hi everyone. So this is essentially going to be a tapping video. So if you do not like those, see you next week. And otherwise, I hope you enjoy. So, I was requested to do another DVD collection video with tapping and such. So I thought about what kind of theme I could do for this DVD collection video, because I think I have a video up with my all-time favorites at the time, and I think I have a video up of my guilty pleasures, and I have 2 Buffy videos as well. But so I was thinking, what could I do for this video? And what I actually landed on is I will be showing you 2 DVDs every time with one actor, one of the DVDs being a very good movie and the other one being a bad or very bad movie with the same actor. Okay, so that's the idea. So, I am actually a very loyal person. More specifically, I am a very brand loyal person. So if I find a store or a product or a restaurant or anything like that that I like, I will always continue going there and buying it as long as it exists. And it is always very traumatizing when one of my brands gets discontinued. So now this translates to my movie selections, I guess, as in I will really like a certain actor or actress, and that means that I will watch anything they're in, whether it's a genre that I like or not. I stay very loyal to certain actors and actresses. So that means in my DVD collection I have quite a few movies from the same actors. So number 1, actually I didn't count, but either this actor or the next actor is the one of which I have most movies, is Ryan Gosling. So we've got 2 movies here, 2 Ryan Gosling movies here. And while this plane flies overhead, you can decide in your mind which you think is the bad movie and which you think is the good movie. So I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan, and I genuinely was a huge Ryan Gosling fan before the world even knew about Ryan Gosling. Like, before everyone agreed that he is a good actor, I was following him. And the reason for that is because one of my favorite movies he stars in when he was quite young and had brown hair and was not the handsome man he is perceived to be now. But it's actually seen as a bad movie. But it's genuinely my favorite movie, but it's so important to me that I do not share it with people because they are undeserving. So what I'm basing myself on in terms of good and bad is not my personal opinion, because I love both of these movies. I'm basing myself on the IMDb Metascores. So not the public score, but the Metascore from movie critic reviews. So these Ryan Gosling movies, the good one is Drive, and the bad one is The Notebook. Okay, so briefly, The Notebook, I do not know what rock you're living under if you do not know about The Notebook. I mean, I can imagine people having not seen it because it is very much kind of a certain genre, but I can't imagine never having heard of it because it's referenced in so many other things as well. So this is an epic love story between Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, or Ali and Noah, and they're kind of star-crossed lovers in the sense that she's from a good family and he is not. And they have like a very beautiful and passionate and lovely short affair when they're young, and then her parents whisk her away and they lose touch. And then later on in life they find each other again and have to make a choice whether or not they will choose each other. And I personally love this movie, but the IMDb Metascore gives it 53 out of 100. So that's what I consider bad. But I would rate it a lot higher. I've seen it so many times and it still warms my heart. I don't know if that seems in character or out of character for me, but I love a nice kind of romantic, fluffy movie. But what I also like are dark and twisty beautiful movies, visually beautiful movies like Drive. The thing is, though, that when it comes to re-watching movies, I tend to almost always grab for the fluffy ones, the ones that are going to make me feel warm and fuzzy inside and just feel like a comfort blanket covering me and will make me smile or make me laugh. So that means that I have a lot of darker movies that I really love, but that I do not watch often because I really need to be in a certain mindset. And want to stay in that mindset instead of wanting to watch a movie that will kind of get me out of it. So that means that it's not as easy for me to tell you the plot of certain movies because it has been a while since I've really seen them. So I'm just going to cheat here and say Driver is a stuntman in Hollywood who has a side job of driving getaway cars in the criminal world. He falls in love with his neighbor Irene, a young mother who is dragged into the dark practices of her husband, former convict Standard. When a job goes horribly wrong, Driver has to do what he's good at to save Irene and her son. Drive. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. So this one, I tend to love movies because of their script. I'm all about the words. But this one has a very minimal script. There's not a lot of talking in this one, but it's just so well made and it's so beautiful and suspenseful and just troubling as well that it just makes up for its lack of words. I mean, it's quite amazing how you can get so pulled into something without the words. So Drive. So the next actor, and I'm pretty sure he would win, I think, in terms of that I have the most movies with him in it, is Kevin Bacon. I really don't know. It might be a tie. It might just be a tie between Kevin Bacon and Ryan Gosling. And the next two come close as well. So while the sirens are going, you can decide in your mind which you think is the good movie and which you think is the bad movie. Very bad, very bad. Okay. So the bad movie in this set has the second lowest rating I encountered while kind of figuring out which movies to show. The only movie that I found that I own that has an even lower rating is The Watcher with James Spader and Keanu Reeves, which I own actually because of James Spader, not Keanu Reeves, weirdly enough. But because the good movie I have with James Spader didn't have that high of a rating, I didn't include it in the video. So that The Watcher has a rating of 22. This one, Hollow Man, has a rating of 24 out of 100. So that's quite terrible. And it is quite a bad movie, but I think it is sort of an enjoyably bad movie. That being said, though, I have not watched this after I bought it. There's a piece of sticky tape on it right here that has not been broken. So I bought it very cheaply, €1.25, which is about $1. So that's probably why I got it, because it was so cheap. But it's not a good movie. Basically, it's about some scientists that are working on something to make you invisible. And they succeed. Kevin Bacon succeeds. And the power kind of gets to him and causes him to go dark side, sort of. So it's not good, but it's enjoyable. Hollow Man. I actually didn't know which was going to have the least rating between this one and another quite bad Kevin Bacon movie I own, which is Trapped. And that was kind of a double whammy for me, because Charlize Theron is one of the actresses that I kind of keep up with. Actually, a triple whammy if I leave. I actually have it here because I was mistaken at first. Triple whammy, that's why. Now I remember. This has Stuart Townsend as well. Actually, it's going to be very close between Ryan Gosling, Kevin Bacon, and Stuart Townsend. I have quite a few Stuart Townsend films as well. So the good Kevin Bacon movie is The Woodsman. So The Woodsman is a movie with Kevin Bacon and Keira Sedgwick and Mos Def, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and It is about a convicted pedophile that just got out of prison and is now kind of trying to get his life back together and live it in a better way than he did before. So that's quite a dark story, quite a dark theme, and the movie is quite dark as well. But this really is, the kind of movie that I really love, that's very heavily just oriented to the people in it, their relationships and their conversations, and is not highly plot driven, but very much character driven. So I really love this movie, and despite it being one of the darker movies that I own, I have watched it quite a few times. This has a rating of 72 on IMDb Metascore. And I kind of, whenever a movie gets rated 70 or higher on the Metascore, I consider it very good. And then I'll make up my own mind, of course, because I do not always agree, which we will see, I think, later with one of the movies. And we already saw with The Notebook. So The Woodsman, it's beautiful. It may not sound beautiful, but it's beautiful. Obviously, it can be triggering, so you have to kind of gauge for yourself whether or not you can watch it. But it's beautiful, and Kevin Bacon plays it really well. I think it's my favorite Kevin Bacon movie. Although I have seen Footloose a multitude of times. But this one is obviously the better movie. But like I said earlier, I grab for my comfort blankie movies more easily. So the next one, I actually have 3 because I have a tie in rating with one of these. So the next one I have to show are Stuart Townsend films. I absolutely love Stuart Townsend. I have several more movies with him, including Trapped, which I just showed you. So here we have About Adam, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and Queen of the Damned. So take a moment. What do you think? What is the tie? There is a tie in badness between Queen of the Damned and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So they both get rated 30, which is quite bad. And in case of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I wholeheartedly agree. This is a very bad movie. I really own it just because Stuart Townsend's in it, but I do not think I have seen it again since buying it. So, plot. The world's biggest adventurer, Alan Quatermain, leads the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, a group of 7 individuals with legendary powers. This group of superheroes is formed by a captain, a hunter, a vampire, an immortal, and an invisible man. Even though they're all individualistic, they need to trust each other to save the world from its doom. It's bad to watch it. Queen of the Damned, however, if I remember correctly, this was in my Guilty Pleasures video, which was a very long time ago. And yeah, I just kind of love it. I don't love it in the sense that I disagree that it's a bad movie. It's definitely, it's bad, but it's enjoyably bad. Yeah, it's kind of, it's cringe, but it's good cringe, you know? So do give this one a watch if you can. Aaliyah is so incredibly mesmerizing in it as well. And obviously so is Stuart Townsend. So it's about Stuart Townsend, who plays Lestat, and he kind of comes out of this long period of sleep and decides he wants to be known. He doesn't want to hide in obscurity anymore, but he wants to be known, and in that way bring out Aaliyah, the queen of the vampires. It's fine. I like it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I should watch it again. And I actually should watch Drive again as well. The good movie is the lowest rated one of my good movies here. This one has a 64 rating on IMDb. This is what I think is not a very well-known movie. It's called About Adam, and it's hilarious. Basically, Adam, played by Stuart Townsend, makes his way through this entire family, 3 sisters, and the mother also becomes quite fond of him, and he's just this chameleon sort of who adapts to each person that he's with and completely captivates them and lures them in. And it's funny and it's believable because it's Stuart Townsend. Who would not be lured in by Stuart Townsend? I mean, come on. That's the good thing about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Like, if you could choose anyone to be Dorian Gray, well, yes, it would be Stuart Townsend. So about Adam, less known, but it is a funny watch. It's quite absurd. Yeah, absurd comedy. About Adam. Stuart Townsend actually has a TV show he starred in as well called 13, which is worth checking out as well. It's not really my genre, but like I said, I'm just extremely loyal to the actors and actresses that I like. Okay, inevitably, here's Heath Ledger, and I feel the only reason he's not at the top of the list of most movies that I own with him in it is because we lost him too soon. So I don't think anyone has to even think which is the good movie and which is the bad movie. I think it's very, very obvious. But I love the bad movie as well. So the bad movie is A Knight's Tale. It's rated 54 on IMDb. And I just love it. It's just so fun and just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It's funny, it's moving, it's a little bit suspenseful, it's romantic, it's just lovely. And I love the character that plays, God, what's his name? I love the actor that plays this character, but I forget his name. It starts with a W. I love Paul Bettany as well. It's not on here. Oh well. Anyway, basically the story is about Heath, who is Thatcher's son, and he assumes the identity of a knight so that he can change his stars and joust just love the movie. I love Paul Bettany and his speeches. I love the clothes. They're not time appropriate at all, but they're beautiful. I love the music. It's just a really fun movie and not that bad at all. So, a good movie, and this is the highest rated one of the good movies I have here. Not of the good movies I have, period, because I do own a movie with 100 rating on IMDb. Can you guess which it is? Duh, it is Boyhood, because I love anything Richard Linklater does. I'm loyal to some directors as well, writers and directors like Richard Linklater and Wes Anderson, for example. So, Brokeback Mountain. This is like a book plus film combo. It has the short story that the movie was based on in it as well. I love this movie, and I loved it ever since the first time I saw it, which was actually with my school. I saw it in school, which I think is really cool, because I don't think that there's a lot of schools in other countries that would have this movie as in the curriculum. So if you don't know this movie, then what is wrong with you? It is about two cowboys that spend a summer in the mountains looking after sheep, and they fall in love. And the movie follows them for years after that summer, how they stay in each other's lives and then do not stay in each other's lives. And it is beautiful, and it is heartbreaking, and it is real. I rewatched this one recently, and I actually rewatched it because I had read and seen Call Me By Your Name, and I wanted to rewatch this so I could, in my mind, be sure that Call Me By Your Name is, in fact, the better movie. And I believe it is. But this one is so good as well. Did I mention how much it's rated? It's rated at 87. spending some time with this because it is a very different sound of tapping compared to all the DVDs. Okay, Brokeback Mountain, Heath Ledger. So we've had Ryan Gosling, Kevin Bacon, Stuart Townsend, and Heath Ledger. Those are four of the actors that I really keep up with. There are more, but I either have only good movies of them or only bad movies of them, or there wasn't enough of a difference between the best one and the worst one, so they didn't get included. The next one, the last one, is actually more of a coincidence. It's not because of the actor that I have these two movies. It's not an actor that I really keep up with, although I think he is a very good actor. And it is Vincent Cassel, but he is French, so I suppose Vincent Cassel is how you would pronounce his name. And he plays the bad guy in both of these movies. One is good and one is bad. Guess which one? While this airplane crosses over, guess which one? Okay, so this one, Birthday Girl, is the bad one with a rating of 51. But I did enjoy this movie. This is one of the rare movies that I have that I actually bought before seeing it. So sometimes they would have like these offers in the media stores I would visit, and you could get like 5 DVDs for 10 euros or something like that. And I would sometimes not always find that amount of movies that I already know and love. So I would buy some that I had not seen. And this is one of those. So I bought it without seeing it. And this is about an English guy who basically orders a mail order bride. I think she's Russian, yes. He gets a Russian mail order bride, which is Nicole Kidman. And he gets more than he bargained for. Basically, well, who is going to watch this? I can spoil it, right? Basically, it's like sort of a scam, and he pretty soon gets extorted by her criminal cousins, one of which is Vincent Cassel. So it's amusing. It's fun enough, but it's not really worth rewatching. Totally worth rewatching though is this Eastern Promises. This is such a good movie. This is, yeah, it's rated at 82 and it's really good. It stars Viggo Mortensen and Naomi Watts and Vincent Cassel. So basically, Naomi Watts is a nurse, and she delivers a baby for this young girl, teenage girl, who dies in childbirth, but she finds a diary, and it is Russian. The diary is Russian, and she has it translated by Semyon, who appears to be a kind old restaurant owner, but is not what he seems. And basically, her life and the baby's life get put at risk because she has this journal translated. And Viggo Mortensen sort of tries to rescue her, tries to save the day, save the situation. I don't want to give too much away. If you have not seen this, I suggest you do. It is also kind of dark, kind of twisted. It is just so good. I kind of keep up with Viggo Mortensen. I have several other movies he's in. I think he is a great actor. But I do not have any bad movies that he's in. So I couldn't include him in the list. But Vincent Cassel brought us some Viggo after all. Okay. That was another soft-spoken DVD collection video with lots and lots of tapping. So these were actors. I can actually not do the same for actresses. I looked into it, but there's just less of a discrepancy between good and bad movies for the actresses that I have movies of, but I actually don't have as many movies purchased for actresses that I follow. I have Frontrunner by Large, Ellen Page. I have several movies with her, but they're all good. And Julie Delpy, obviously, because I have the Richard Linklater trilogy, as well as her movie 2 Days in Paris, but they are all good. Patricia Arquette, but I disagree with the rating for True Romance. I feel like it should have a lot higher rating, so I didn't want to include that. So I hope that this was kind of interesting, sort of a different way of doing a DVD collection. I have loads of DVDs and I could do loads of different themes. So if you want more DVD collection videos, just let me know. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good night. Bye.